Thank you, Madam Table Topics and Madam President. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your 10-minute break. And now we're going to start the second part of the meeting, which is prepared speeches. And we have three amazing speakers tonight. So this one is gonna be tough. And I mean it because they are good. And our first speaker is giving a speech 5 to 7 minutes. Level 2, understanding your leadership style from Pathways Leadership Development. The title of his speech is TED Radio Hour on NPR. Okay, that sounds good. TED Talks give people a platform to share their ideas, but as there are thousands of talks ranging from 3 to 18 minutes, wouldn't be nice if there were an accurate set of TED Talks? There is. The TED Radio Hour is NPR. It's hosted by a woman who has put a lot of effort into finding TED Talks on a particular subject, melding interviews with the speakers and their talk. The project complete level 2 in the ship development path. Okay, now with TED Radio Hour on NPR, Mark Richards, TED Radio Hour on NPR.
Madam Toastmaster, what is the time limit?
5 to 7.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. We have time on our hands, and you have perhaps gone on a walk, you have time when you're going to work, whether you're in a car or you're in a train. You might be going on a trip and you have a couple of hours of flight time or even time waiting in the terminal. And all of these times you have options of what you're going to do with your time. One of the things you could do is like nothing. You could just think and focus on mental energies, maybe take notes of ideas that you come up with. Or you could listen to music, put on some nice AirPods, listen to some nice 3D spatial music, and tune out to some of your favorites. Or you could do what I do, and that's listening to TED Talks. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, TED Talks, their slogan is ideas worth spreading. TED actually stands for Technology, Education, Design. It was started back in 2009. And so for the last 13 years, over 50,000 of these talks have been given. And the ideas are amazing. Now, some of them you'd want to listen to over and over. The #1 TED Talk has been listened to over 14 million times. And all these talks, there's so many of them, there's so many options. Well, these people at the TED Radio Hour on NPR, it's a woman named Manoush Zomorodi. What she's done is curated every week's group of TED Talks, and there's thousands of them that are given every week, and has put together a series of 4 to 5 for her show. It's a 50-minute show. There are some commercials, but they're very few and sweet. I usually just fast forward and pass them by hitting the edge of my AirPod. And the fun thing is that I have, every so often I come across a gym. It'll cause me to stop going around the park, and I'll actually jot it down. Just in the last week, I came up with 3, I heard 3 that I had to write down. Let me share with you what I learned. The first one is a gentleman talking about our biology and how the way that our memory works, it has to do with evolution, that our memory remembers, our mind remembers things that are the most exciting about an event And the last part of it, his thought, his idea was that you should leave a vacation or a party when you're having the most fun. It took a while to really get into that, but when he explained it, it made a lot of sense. And I thought that was an idea that I'd like to share with you. I don't have time nor the memory to go over the details of that one. But these were all real good. Next one was something that I can identify with. And the second one was instead of following your passion, follow your curiosity. His thought on this one was, some of us have passions and they're really into it. My son's a drummer, and that's his passion. There's no question. I don't really have a passion right now, other than, say, Toastmasters. I used to dance, and that was my passion, sure. Now I identify more with curiosity, and that's why I like to listen to TED Talks and this TED Radio Hour. If you follow your curiosity, you'll never run out of ideas and places to go with it. And the last one was something that really blew my mind, and that was the opportunity of boredom. And it's actually the host wrote this book about the opportunity of boredom, and what it can mean, and how you can prosper by allowing yourself to drift and letting your mind, the amazing circuitry of your mind, take over and take you places that, if you're looking at a screen all day long, you're being guided. And this way, your mind can float free and come up with some amazing new ideas of its own. The most recent one I listened to was just today, and that was about leadership. And that's why I chose this particular project. This particular person, she is the youngest minister of Ireland. And I don't know how old she is, but she failed in 7 elections, one after another. She finally won, and she's the youngest person. Her idea was, instead of measuring the success of a country on its GDP, to measure it based on other factors and combine them all together. For instance, what about all the caregivers that take care of their elderly parents or their spouses? David, you'd recognize this one. They're unpaid. They're not participating in the GDP, but they are a valuable member of society. She uses her leadership position, as well as she's coordinating with 2 other countries, Iceland and New Zealand, on this particular project. And their idea is to take this concept to the rest of the world to improve the world's outlook so that we can get away from a pure money-based measurement of society and get onto a more humane, human point of view. And the last part of the speech I thought was really clever is she said, oh, by the way, you can take this for what it's worth, but all 3 of the leaders of these countries are women. I thought that was pretty funny. You can listen to the TED Radio Hour on NPR by either going to ted.npr.org or downloading the NPR One app for your smartphone, or if you have Spotify, you can listen. That's where I listen to it. There's the TED Radio Hour at NPR. They've been recording these weekly programs since 2012. There's a host of them to listen to. And instead of wading through 50,000 talks, you can key in on the ones that are most interesting to you, listen, and get a transcript if you're interested on your computer. I've done that too. And some of them were quite fascinating. Hope you get a good idea of what to do and what might be more valuable for some spare time. This is an idea worth spreading. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mark.